My roommate Chloe and I had the same taste. She liked every guy who showed interest in me. She used to say I was too naive, that I couldn't recognize bad intentions, and she would offer to check them out for me. So she would approach them, pretending she was just looking out for me. And every time, after getting their attention, she would come back acting like she had won something. See? She'd say. I told you, you don't know how to choose. These guys aren't genuine. If it wasn't for me, you would have gotten hurt. I would get mad. But I never had anything solid to argue with. This time, I started a relationship in secret with Ethan, the football star at school. When Chloe found out, she tried to do the same thing as always, but she didn't know. This time, he wasn't just some random guy. A few days later, she was already showing off, holding up her phone with a picture of her and my ex, Ryan, smiling like she had proven something. When he was chasing you, he said you were his priority, she said. Now all I had to do was make one move, and he came straight to me. Good thing I'm here so you can see reality. I clenched my fists. Are you really proud of betraying my trust? I asked. Don't you have any loyalty? She immediately acted offended. I'm just trying to keep you from getting hurt, she said. Why can't you be grateful? Ashley stepped in. You take relationships way too seriously, she said. Fighting with a friend over a guy. It's not worth it. Exactly, Megan added. Chloe just filters out people who aren't good for you. You should thank her. I didn't know what to say. My exes weren't good people, but Chloe wasn't any better. Before I broke up with them, I had seen their messages. She sent them pictures, very suggestive ones, wearing revealing sleepwear. She would ask them inappropriate things about their bodies. It was honestly embarrassing. Chloe walked closer to me, looking satisfied. You're not mad, right? She asked. It's not my fault they noticed me while talking to you. Ashley laughed. Of course not. That's just your charm, she said. Not like some people who think good grades make them special. They both smiled. I ignored them and looked down at my phone. The room went quiet. Suddenly, Ashley shouted, Look who's outside! It's Ethan! What is he doing in front of our building? Megan and Chloe ran to the balcony. It's really him. Is he waiting for someone? Whoever it is so lucky. He's the most admired guy on campus. Ashley looked at Chloe. Weren't you close to him? Does he have a girlfriend now? Chloe didn't answer, because she had been trying to get his attention for months, and he never even accepted her online. I put on some lipstick and headed for the door. Chloe grabbed my arm. You're still going to see Ryan? She asked. I pulled my arm away. I broke up with him a long time ago. I said, if you want him that much, you can have him. My phone rang. A calm voice spoke. Are you ready? I'm downstairs. I'm coming. Before I could move, Chloe snatched my phone. No wonder you don't care about Ryan anymore, she said. You already have someone else. She spoke into the phone with a fake sweet tone. Hi, this is Chloe, Emily's friend. A short pause. Are you her boyfriend? Her smile disappeared. I took my phone back and hung up. Her eyes were filled with jealousy. You're dating Ethan? She asked. That's impossible, Megan said. He's very selective. How would he even notice you? Ashley added. It's probably someone pretending. I didn't respond. I just went downstairs. Ethan was there, standing next to his red sports car. When he saw me, his expression changed instantly, and in that moment, I understood why Chloe had been chasing him for so long. Did you wait long? I asked. I just got here, he said. Get in. He opened the door for me. As I got in, I looked up. The three of them were on the balcony, watching, with clear envy on their faces. Ethan took me to a private tennis club. It was the kind of place Chloe would love. Exclusive, quiet, expensive. He stood behind me, guiding my hands as he showed me how to hold the racket. Every movement felt calculated. Close enough to be believable, not too close to raise suspicion. Then my phone started ringing. Chloe. I already knew why she was calling. I answered anyway. Emily, are you at the tennis courts? She asked. I just want to make sure you're not being used. He's not like that, I said. Stop worrying about me. I hung up before she could say anything else. Ethan handed me a towel and wiped the sweat from my face. Your roommates bother you a lot? He asked. They're just jealous, I said. That part wasn't even a lie. A few minutes later, a tennis ball hit Ethan in the back, hard enough to get our attention. We both turned. Chloe was walking toward us, holding a racket. Oh, I'm so sorry, she said. I didn't see you. She stepped closer, bending slightly in a way that wasn't accidental. Ethan barely looked at her. It's fine, he said. Then he put his hand on my waist, Nana, let's go, he said casually. I'll buy you something nice so you forget this. I smiled. Chloe didn't. Her face went pale for a second. She really thought this would go like all the other times. But Ethan wasn't reacting the way they usually did. At least, that's what I believed at the time. A few days later, reality hit. Hard. We were at rehearsal. I walked in and saw them together. Sharing a drink, the same straw, no hesitation, like it meant nothing. My chest tightened instantly. She wasn't feeling well, Ethan said when he noticed me. I was just helping things move faster. Chloe took another sip, then looked at me, smiling. That same look, the one she always had when she thought she was winning. Your boyfriend is a little harder to get, she said. But don't worry, I'll get there. Then she walked away like nothing had happened. I stood there, frozen. I knew that look. I had seen it too many times before. Ethan tried to calm me down. Don't overthink it, he said. She's just helping with the play. She always does this, I said quietly. She always tries to take the guys I'm with. I only want you, he said. But before I could respond, his phone buzzed. He checked it, then left immediately. I didn't need to ask. I already knew who it was. Later that night, I saw it. He had added her online, just like all the others. And just like that, the same pattern started again. A few days later, he invited me to a yacht, said he wanted to make things up to me. His friends were there. Everything looked perfect on the surface. Then something came up. A problem related to a medical project his family was working on. They needed someone specific. Dr. Carter, he said. We can't move forward without him. Before I could say anything, I can help with that, Chloe said. She had just arrived, like she always did, at the exact right moment. My aunt works with him, she added casually. Ethan's interest was immediate. While they were talking, I sent a message, quietly, without anyone noticing. The target is ready. Move now. After that, everything started shifting. Ethan began seeing her more often, alone. Chloe started showing up with expensive gifts, designer bags, jewelry, all from him. Back in our room, she made sure I saw everything. Looks like your perfect guy found someone better, she said with a smirk. I stayed calm, because this time, everything was exactly where it needed to be. On my birthday, Ethan came to see me looking genuinely excited. The project worked, he said. It was a success because of Chloe. I forced a small smile. Really? I said. Yeah, he continued. She helped more than I expected. He took me to a luxury jewelry store, the kind of place where everything feels too expensive to even touch. He asked me to choose something. I hesitated, but he picked one himself. A necklace, beautiful, elegant, the kind of gift that actually meant something. Do you like it? He asked. It's beautiful, I said. It's to show you how much you're worth. And for a moment, I almost believed him. Then he said it. Emily, give it to Chloe for me. I froze. What? As a thank you, he said, for helping with everything. For a second, I couldn't even speak. It felt like everything inside me just stopped. We went to find her. And when we did, she wasn't alone. She was arguing with Ryan, my ex. He was practically begging her, offering things, trying to convince her to be with him. It was pathetic. Before I could react, Ethan stepped in. Things escalated quickly. They started fighting, right there, over her. Watching my ex and my current boyfriend fight over the same person, it should have hurt more. But instead, it felt almost ridiculous. Chloe didn't even look at me. She went straight to Ethan, held onto him like she needed him, and just like that, they left together, without saying a word to me. I turned to leave. I didn't want to stay there any longer. But before I could walk away, someone pulled me into a dark hallway. And then, a kiss. Strong, sudden, familiar. Did you enjoy it? He whispered. Was I a good actor? I let out a quiet breath. Every time Chloe touched him, I had to force myself to stay calm. The hallway smelled like wood and his cologne. Did I look surprised when you gave her the necklace? I asked. Just enough, he said. He pulled back slightly. Are you okay? I am, I said. Then I hesitated. That was the first moment I almost believed it. Which part? He asked. That you were actually giving it to her. He didn't answer immediately. Then, that necklace was always yours, he said. What she has is just something that looks expensive. I smiled slightly in the dark. We should go back, he said. Give it 3 minutes, I replied. Same as we planned. We returned separately, from different directions. No one noticed. No one ever does when they're too focused on something else. Chloe was on the main deck, wearing the necklace, showing it off to Ashley and Megan, like she needed them to see it, to confirm it was real. Ashley was taking pictures. Megan was nodding along, both of them fully on her side, like always. I walked over with a drink in my hand. It looks good on you, I said. Chloe looked at me, expecting something else. Anger, jealousy, anything, but not calm. You don't have anything else to say? She asked. I said it looks good, I replied. That was a compliment. She paused, just for a second. Like she didn't know how to respond to that. Ashley stepped in. Maybe you should learn from this, she said. That's how you act when someone does better than you. Totally, I said, taking a sip of my drink. That night, back in the room, Chloe sat in front of the mirror, still wearing the necklace, staring at herself for a long time. Ashley and Megan stayed on the yacht. So it was just the two of us. Don't you have anything to say to me? She asked finally. About what? I said. About Ethan, about the necklace, about everything. No. She turned to look at me. You're not even mad? A little, I guess, I said, shrugging. But I already understand how you work. She frowned. What does that mean? You like guys who belong to someone else first, I said calmly. But once you get them, they stop being interesting. She turned fully toward me. Ethan is different. You said the same thing about Ryan, I replied. And about Marcus. And about Daniel. She stayed silent. This one has a future, she said. A family. Something real. Maybe, I said, laying back on my bed. Good night, Chloe. She didn't understand that conversation. Not yet, but I knew she would. Soon. The next morning, Chloe asked me twice if I was really okay. Her voice sounded soft. Too soft. Not real. She needed me to be upset, because without that, it didn't feel like she had won. I didn't give her that. A few days later, Ethan invited her to see the progress of the medical project with his family. Chloe came back to the room holding a new bag. I recognized it immediately, because I had already seen the receipt. $140. Ethan had shown it to me beforehand. It looked expensive, but it wasn't, not really. She placed it on the bed slowly, running her hand over it like she was showing it to me. This is from him, she said. That's nice, I replied, without even looking up. She paused. That's all you're going to say? What do you want me to say? She sat at the edge of my bed. I don't understand you, she said. Anyone else would be crying right now. Maybe I'm not like anyone else, I said. She stared at me for a few seconds, then asked something she had never asked before. Do you know something I don't? That was the first time I saw it. Uncertainty, right there on her face. And that meant everything was working. Go to sleep, Chloe, I said. You have rehearsal tomorrow. 3 days later, the medical project reached its public presentation phase. Ethan's family organized a reception on campus. Important people, sponsors, everything formal, but still controlled. Chloe arrived early, wearing a new dress, the kind you don't buy unless you want to be noticed. I knew exactly how she paid for it. I had seen the money disappearing little by little. I arrived 20 minutes later, with my aunt, Dr. Wilson, head of the university's research department, and the person who had been quietly coordinating the medical project for the past 3 months. Ethan saw us immediately and walked straight toward us. Dr. Wilson, thank you for coming, he said, and thank you for everything. My pleasure, my aunt replied calmly. Emily has good judgment when it comes to people. Across the room, Chloe was watching. I saw the exact moment everything changed for her, the moment things stopped making sense. Ethan talking to my aunt speaking with his family like they already knew each other. Because they did. Ashley walked up next to her and said something quietly. Chloe didn't respond. Ethan came back to me with a drink. Your aunt is impressive, he said. She usually has that effect. He looked at me, not acting this time. Are you going to tell me the whole plan now? Not yet, I said. There's still one part left. The reception ended around 10. The project was officially funded. 2 new sponsors, both connections from my aunt. Chloe left early, without saying goodbye to anyone. Ashley and Megan followed her, both of them clearly trying to understand what just happened. I stayed a little longer, helping my aunt organize some things. On the way back to the building, Ethan walked beside me. What's the last part? He asked. Tomorrow, I said. At rehearsal, do I need to do anything? Just be yourself, he smiled. That I can do. When I got back to the room, Chloe was sitting on her bed, phone in her hand, the $140 bag on the floor. I didn't say anything. I just got ready for bed, like the last few days. Calm, distant, nothing she could use. But this time, she spoke first. How long have you been working with your aunt on his family's project? About 3 months, I said. Silence. And Ethan knew from the beginning? He was the one who suggested it, I replied. He needed a contact. I had one. I got into bed. That's how we started talking. She took a moment, processing. All this time? She asked. Good night, Chloe. She didn't say anything else. I turned off the lights, and I could hear it. She stayed completely still for a long time, thinking, trying to put everything together, and failing. The next day, the final rehearsal took place in the main auditorium at 4 p.m. Chloe had a secondary role. She only got it because Ethan was the male lead. That had been her strategy from the beginning. I arrived around 3:30. Ashley and Megan were already there. They had invited me. Too eagerly, like they wanted me to watch something specific. Doesn't it bother you? Megan asked, sitting next to me. What? I said. Seeing them together on stage, Ashley added, they have a lot of chemistry. That's acting, I said calmly. That's the point. They exchanged a quick look. Like my reaction wasn't what they expected. The rehearsal started. Ethan was good. Naturally good. The kind of presence you don't really learn. You either have it or you don't. Chloe next to him did well enough, but she kept looking at the audience. Too often, like she needed to make sure people were watching her. During the break after Act 2, she walked straight toward us. What did you think? She asked me, already smiling, already expecting something. It was good, I said. You both did well. Her smile stayed, but it shifted slightly. Ethan asked me to stay after rehearsal, she added, to go over Act 3. That's good, I said. That part needs work. Ashley looked like she wanted to say something. Megan looked back at the stage. Chloe waited, just a second longer, like she had another move planned, but I didn't give her anything to react to. So she turned and went back. Act 3 started about 15 minutes later. There was one scene she had been talking about for days, trying to sound casual about it, but bringing it up too often. A scene where the characters exchange a written message. Originally, it was supposed to be a love letter, but the director allowed them to write their own version, as long as it worked emotionally. Chloe walked onto the stage holding an envelope. She handed it to Ethan. He opened it, read it. His expression was perfect, calm at first. Then something deeper. He closed the envelope, placed it on the table. Don't you have a response? Chloe said. Following the script? I already gave one, he replied. Also following the script. But then, he didn't stop. He stepped out of the scene, walked to the edge of the stage, and looked directly toward the audience. Toward me. The answer was never here, he said, his voice steady. Clear enough for everyone to hear, but it was always somewhere else. The director didn't interrupt. It worked, too well. People in the audience started looking around, trying to figure out where he was looking. Chloe froze. Right in the middle of the stage, still holding the script, Ashley leaned closer to me. That wasn't in yesterday's rehearsal, she whispered. No, I said. Did you know he was going to do that? I didn't answer. I didn't need to. The rehearsal ended about 20 minutes later. The director thanked everyone. People started getting up. Chloe came down from the stage fast. Too fast. Like she needed to get control back. She reached me before I got to the exit. What was that? She asked. Did you tell him to do that? I didn't tell him anything, I said. You saw the same thing I did. You've been pretending this whole time, she said, acting like you don't care. I looked at her, calm. For 2 years, I said, you've been telling me I don't know how to choose. That without you, I'd get hurt. I paused. Did you ever stop to think that maybe the problem wasn't me choosing wrong? She didn't say anything. Maybe I just chose people who hadn't met someone better yet. For the first time in 2 years, she had no response. This isn't over, she said. You're right, I replied. It's not, because what she still didn't know was the entire rehearsal had been recorded. Every scene, every moment, including that one. And by tomorrow, that video would be available to everyone on campus. The rehearsal video was uploaded the next morning, 10 a.m., just like every other final rehearsal that semester. Nothing unusual. At least, not officially. I didn't send it to anyone. Didn't mention it, didn't share it. I didn't need to. By noon, half the campus had already seen it. That's how these things work. If something is strong enough, it spreads on its own. Ethan standing on stage, looking directly at one specific seat. Not subtle, not open to interpretation. And on a campus like ours, everyone already knew the context. Chloe didn't show up for breakfast that morning. Ashley and Megan did. But they sat at a different table, far from where they usually sat. That alone said everything. They were recalculating. I had breakfast with my aunt. She had stayed overnight at the campus hotel. "How is your roommate?" she asked, without looking up from her coffee. "I don't know yet," I said. "We didn't talk last night. How much longer do you think this will last?" "Maybe a week," I said. It already reached where it needed to. She nodded slightly, then asked, "And the boy? Is he still part of the plan? Or something else now?" I paused for a second. "Both can be true," I said. "Usually that makes things more complicated. Or better," she replied. We changed the subject after that. That afternoon, Chloe found me. In the library, 3rd floor. One of the study cubicles where no one really bothered me. The fact that she knew I was there meant something. Someone told her, which meant Ashley or Megan were still feeding her information. Useful. She sat in front of me without asking. "The video is everywhere," she said. "I saw it." I closed my laptop slowly. "Ethan did that on purpose," she added. "Probably," I said. She leaned forward slightly. "Did you tell him to do that?" "I already answered that yesterday," I said. "I didn't tell him anything." She placed both hands on the table, tense. "What do you want from me?" she asked. "Do you want me to apologize? I can do that if that's what it takes to end this." I looked at her for a moment. "For which one?" I asked. She hesitated. "For Ryan," she said. "And Marcus, I guess." "And Daniel?" I asked. Silence. "And Daniel," she admitted. "And convincing Ashley and Megan that I was naive?" I continued. "That you were protecting me?" She looked down at the table. "I thought it was true," she said quietly. "I thought I was helping you." That was the most honest thing she had said in 2 years. And still, not completely true. "I don't want an apology," I said. She looked up again. "Then what do you want?" I closed my laptop completely. "I want you to ask yourself something," I said. "When you saw Ethan standing on that stage, and he looked at my seat instead of at you," I paused. "I want you to have an honest answer for why. Not for me. For you." She didn't respond right away. "Because you knew him first?" she said after a moment. I shook my head slightly. "Because I never tried to make him choose me," I said. "He chose on his own." I stood up, gathered my things. "That's it, Chloe." I walked out. This time, she didn't follow me. That night, Ethan called me. "I'm downstairs," he said. "Come down for a few minutes." I went. He was leaning against his car, just like the first day. "Did she talk to you?" he asked. "This afternoon," I said, "at the library." "And? She got as far as she could." He nodded slightly. "She texted me this morning," he said. "Said she understood I made my choice, and that she wouldn't interfere anymore." I leaned against the car next to him. "That sounds like a lot," I said. "For her it is," he replied. There was a small pause. "When are you going to tell me the full plan?" he asked. "Do you need to know?" I said. "I'd like to," he answered. I thought for a moment. "It was simple," I said. "You were the only one she wanted and couldn't get." He didn't interrupt. "So when we started seeing each other, I already knew she would try." I looked at him. I just let her try. Silence. "Under control," I added. The project was real. My aunt was real. The outcome was real. She got everything she wanted. To feel useful. To get attention. To receive gifts. To be close to you. I paused. "Except for one thing. The necklace wasn't real." He smiled slightly. "And every time she got closer," I continued, "you already knew what was happening. So you could respond without overreacting." He looked at me carefully. "And the hallway on the yacht?" he asked. "That part was yours," I said. "I didn't plan that." "And the rehearsal? That was yours too." He exhaled lightly. "I knew where you'd be sitting," he said. "We always know something ahead of time," I replied. "What matters is what we do with it." We stood there in silence for a moment. "Up on the 3rd floor," A figure moved behind the balcony. I didn't look directly. I didn't need to. She was watching, and this time, she finally understood. Final exams week changed everything. It always does. No one cared about drama anymore. Not openly. Everyone looked the same. Tired, stressed, running on coffee and barely any sleep. Chloe stopped talking. Not just to me, to everyone. Ashley and Megan kept their distance too. Not completely, but enough to make it obvious. I studied most of the time in the library. 3rd floor, same cubicle, bad signal, no distractions. Sometimes Ethan was there with me. We didn't talk much, just studied, and every now and then, we'd pause, talk about something random in low voices, like nothing complicated had ever happened. The last exam was on Thursday. That night, the building felt different. Doors open, music coming from different rooms, people packing, laughing louder than usual. The semester was over. When I walked into the room, Chloe was already packing. She hadn't told me directly, but it wasn't surprising. Her contract was only for the semester, and she had already decided not to stay. She folded her clothes quietly. I packed my things on my side. After a few minutes, she spoke. "Can I ask you something?" "Sure," I said. "From the beginning. Did you know I was going to try to take Ethan from you?" "Yes." She stopped folding, just for a second. "And you still let it happen?" "Within limits," I said. She nodded slowly. "Why?" That was the real question. I sat on the edge of my bed. "Because it was the only way you would understand," I said. "If I told you directly, you would have denied it. If I ignored it, it would keep happening." I looked at her. "But if I let it happen in a situation where the outcome was clear, where everyone could see it," I paused. "Then maybe something would change." She stayed still, holding a shirt in her hands. "Do you think it did?" she asked. "I don't know yet," I said. "That depends on you." She finished folding the shirt, placed it in her suitcase. "Ryan called me yesterday," she said. I didn't react. "He wants to try again." "And?" I asked. I said no. A small pause. "Not because I couldn't," she added, "but because, for the first time, I asked myself what I actually want." She looked at me. "And I don't think he's it." I didn't say anything. This wasn't the moment for, "I told you so." It was the moment to let her think. "Are you and Ethan going to stay together?" she asked. "Yes." "Does he really care about you?" "Yes." "How do you know?" I thought about it for a second. "Because when I told him everything, the whole plan," I looked at her. "He didn't get angry." She frowned slightly. "He laughed," I said, "and asked if there was anything else he should know." She processed that. Slowly. "That's unusual," she said. "Or maybe it's not," I replied. "Maybe it's just someone who understands what he's getting into." The next morning, she finished packing, left her suitcases by the door. Ashley and Megan came to help her. But something was different between them now. The dynamic had changed. Before, everything revolved around me being the reference point. Now that was gone. And without that, they had to figure things out on their own. That wasn't my problem anymore. Chloe stopped at the door before leaving. "Emily." I looked at her. "I'm not a bad person," she said. "I just don't always understand why I do things until later." "I know," I said. She hesitated. "Do you really?" "Yes," I replied. "That's why I didn't hate you. That's why I did this instead of just walking away." She nodded slowly. "Will we stay in touch?" she asked. "If you want." "Maybe," she said. Then she left. I stayed in the room for a moment. Her side was completely empty, clean, like she had never been there. I opened the window. Down on the street, the taxi drove away. Ashley and Megan stood there watching it go. That was the end of that chapter. Ethan appeared at the door. "Ready?" he asked. "Almost." I picked up the last box. We walked out together. In the hallway, he looked at me. "How do you feel?" I thought about it. Honestly. "Good," I said. Not like I won. Just good. He smiled slightly. "There's a difference?" "Yes," I said. "Winning means someone else has to lose completely." I adjusted the box in my hands. "This is better than that." We walked down the stairs, side by side. The truth about plans like this is that nothing dramatic happens at the end. No big moment, no final speech. Things just settle. Chloe would figure herself out. Ashley and Megan would adjust, and I had the next semester. And everything after that. To build something that actually belonged to me. Plans like this aren't about defeating people. They're about creating a situation where the truth shows itself. And once it does, you don't need to prove anything anymore. Time does the rest.